Hello, everybody. Tonight, we've got the finals of the Nature Starter Deck Tournament. It's such a big deal that we have Charmander right beside me on the official stream that is having this type of content. That's why we bring the starter deck content to you, and some of you still watch it. But tonight is an episode that is going to absolutely blow your mind. And tonight, you will be witnessing the Final Four matchup that I play. If I win that, you'll be seeing the championship matchup. If you lose it, well, you'll be seeing the third place. And Charmander's going to be disappointed. You better not disappoint Charmander tonight. You're going to be witnessing something I have never seen in a Gods Unchained tournament. I'm not kidding you. I have played in more tournaments than anyone in the Gods Unchained community, except possibly Lost Hill. And I've never seen this happen, ever. You're going to want to stick to the very end, because the end will absolutely stun you. You could not predict how this video ends. Without further ado, let's get ready for some starter action! Yeah! Welcome to the Starter Deck Final Four matchup. Starter Deck Mirror, Nature Starter Decks. Must play the Selena's Mark, God Power. And here we go. So obviously, big matchup, Final Four. Only my second Final Four of tournament season. It's been a disappointing Final Four for me. As you see, we're up against triple question mark, and we're making the triple question mark decision of going second and having a bad opening mulligan. Get rid of the orcs, because there's two of those. Mulligan consistency trick there. This is not getting any better. Oh boy. Really bad opening mulligan right there, and going second to boot. This is not what you want in a critical game and situation, trying to advance to the finals. Oh boy, this mulligan it seemed like it kept getting worse. Our opponent doesn't have a T1. That's good for us. We top deck into Dockside Prowler. If we could get another cheap minion, a one or two calls for next turn to drop Best Friends, we could have a potentially large turn. And they can only Selena's Mark. A minion off the top would be huge for us. And not that minion. I'm just going to play Best Friends, because otherwise Selena's Mark is guaranteed to hit here. Of course, they're guaranteed to kill one of those anyways. So you can say it's questionable to play Best Friends there, but I think it's just going to be difficult to find a spot for it. Just trying to maintain some board initiative. They're just going to continue the Selena's Mark. So we protected this for one more turn. Did we accomplish too much? Not really. Okay. So now they Untamed Regrowth, and they've got that. Okay, we draw Hunt Warden now, which is a solid play. This is 1 health left, so we're just going to go ahead and run into there, so this finishes this off next turn very cleanly. Next turn, we're going to probably pip out the Riled Ursine. So they've got this. It goes face. This can take out this very cleanly if they would like. They probably would like. We're going to go ahead and toss out the Riled Ursine here. They can either trade here or hit here. If they hit here, they got to be a little bit concerned about the God Power. We might have a big confused moment if they hit here, because if they play another minion, I'll probably aim for the other minion, but if I miss and hit here, that could be a deciding moment in the entire game. But if they just trade here, the situation is just relatively safe from both sides' standpoints. So they're going to go ahead and play this minion and hit here. So this is going to be a key moment into the game. Will we hit here? If we hit here, we've got aspected to Oxodal, and we take over the game. If we hit here, they're winning. Okay, that was a huge moment in the game, because now we can put the Regen 6. Now we're sticking this minion. We've got board. We've got some plays coming up the next couple of turns. This with the Regen 6 is a particularly annoying minion for our opponent. That was a big moment with the confused minion breaking our way. Best friends is not a sign of a person with a productive turn here. Selena's mark. I'm going to go ahead and try to chip away at our minion here. We get Barb Portcullis here. So we hit there. It didn't matter if we aimed for the face or aimed for the minion. It was going to go wherever it wanted to go anyways. So the question now is, do we play Flamecaller or Echo Caster? I'm going to put down the Flamecaller because we've got some protection. Conserve the pip. We can toss out the Echo Caster next turn. And this thing is super, super annoying when it sticks on the board. Now they've got this minion. So again, another situation where it doesn't matter where we click. This guy's going to go wherever he wants to go. He wants to go right there. That's not where I wanted him to go, but that is where he went. So for this turn, I'm going to go ahead and just lay down 2 frontline minions. The reason being, this guy's a sitting duck with this on board. And this establishes some board presence, and I think it's optimal. Now, next turn, he might be getting down stuff like Juggernaut, and that's something to consider. Echo Caster probably coming out pretty soon. Potential lines like Echo Caster. And see, this works out very well, because now, yeah, they hit there, but they know that this is taking 1 GP hits here. And we can toss out the Wild Root Staff, which is an intriguing line. A lot of options this turn. So we know we're going to do this. And we know we're going to do this. And we know we're going to do this. Now the question is how do we want to manage the rest of our turn? We can pip out the Wild Root Staff. That is certainly an option. They could have Juggernaut. I think this is the better line against Juggernaut. So I'm going to confuse an Echo Caster here. We get back Best Friends. Best Friends was actually a good card to get back because we can just play it immediately. Okay. Very reasonable turn. Now, if they have Juggernaut, they can peel here. Okay, charging Orcs. Same effective line, because this is going to take damage. And I can just trade in Wild Root. Yeah, I think this is the cleanest line. So we just go ahead, initiate the trade, put down the Wild Root Staff. And we're going to go face, and we're going to buy the anti-relicate, because again, if they get 1 additional favor, they clean this out very well. But since we have a wide board, this Wild Root Staff is destined to get some value. So they're going ahead, taking a shot with the Selena's Mark. Had a 1 in 4 chance of killing a minion. They did not. So that's definitely not what they wanted to have happen. So unfortunately for us, we don't top deck an additional minion because we would like to go a little bit wider. But just going face and applying the jump onto this minion is going to be an effective strategy here. So go ahead, get the jump on here. The overkill is going to be very effective. Yeah, we get rid of this minion. These go straight to the face. An aspect of the Oxodal comes down here just to kind of secure it from their god power, limiting our opponent's outs as much as possible. We could have bought from the Sanctum there at the end of turn. You could have argued buying the Card Shark, considering we've got 1 more charge with the Wild Root Staff, but either way, our opponent does not have answers to that situation. Game number 1 went our way for the opportunity to reach the Nature Starter Deck Championship match. And it came down to a key moment with a Riled Ursine. It was confused. It listened to us. That moment breaking our way was the moment that turned the tide. So we're going first this game. We did not last game, but we have a very bad opening hand mulligan here. Get rid of the Juggernaut. Okay, it got a little bit better. I don't like the jump on opening hand. It's just not a good early card. I'd actually prefer the Silverback, so I'm going to get rid of the jump on. Easy to toss away the 8 cost minion. No play for T1, but we've got a T2.
And then we hope to draw into something for a little bit on T3, right? So unfortunately, we do not draw into anything useful. And if they're able to peel this minion, then this can be a very difficult turn for us. Can be not that optimized. So okay, they play that, which I mean they can run into here, which gives us 2 for 1 effectively. If we could top deck a 1 or 2 cost minion next turn and be able to couple that with best friends, that would be absolutely huge. So right now they're debating on whether or not to attack here or to go face. The reason why they would consider attacking here is they're worried about aspect of the Oxodal. I would attack here, give this region. It's a bad card, but there's 2 of them in my deck. It is something to consider. So they elect to go face, thinking that I'm probably, they're going to go ahead, confuse regrowth. They have a much better opening hand than I do. A lot of early things to do, but what's interesting, they burn the confused regrowth just to deal 1 to this and confuse this. We unfortunately are very bad at top decking, but very good with confused RNG. So now's a difficult situation. I'm going to play the best friends to deny the reliability of this to just completely clear. It's, again, a very low usage best friends, but I figure if they take this turn off, then me taking next turn off isn't going to get as exposed as it normally would. So we kind of wasted best friends there, but it is what it is. We don't have an optimized opening hand here. And they are going to do exactly what we did, waste their best friends. And we're going to, we have nothing better to do than to kill it. So we both effectively wasted our best hands. We both have very bad hands. I have a little bit of card advantage, but my card advantage is 2 jump-ons. What is that going to get us? Probably not very far. We draw this, not on curve, which doesn't help. This hits here, which is probably optimized. This will hit here. If they've got an Axe Woman, they can play the Axe Woman and hit here and GP and kill. That is potential line. Of course, if they had an Axe Woman, it probably would have come out earlier in this game. So next turn, we have many options depending on what they do here. Removing this would be ideal for me. So for instance, if they play a Wild Ursine at 6/5, we make trade, and yeah. Instead, they just utilize their God Power. And if they go face with this and in turn, then GP and Barb Portfolios is a line and Escape Silverback. But the thing is, Escape Silverback 50-50 to just flat out miss. So it's actually a tricky decision. So here, they're debating on hitting here. Oh, the aspect of the Oxodal. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to force me to attack into here. Which, I mean, it's reasonable on their part, but now they're going to be relying heavily on a 50-50 with the Selena's Mark. They can't really play another minion into this because I'm going to get so much value out of the Escape Silverback. Like, they can't play Higher Muscle if they had it in their hand. They're going to take a 50, okay, well, a 1 out of 3 with their Silverback, they miss. They miss, which allows us to make a high value trade, and now we have great board control, and suddenly everything is looking very nicely for us. They play a minion, which we can have many options to deal with it. We can play Wild Root Staff and just flat out trade. That feels a little bit bad. We can play Barporkoyos and trade. We're going to play this next turn. So one line is just to flat out go face and make them trade here. How can they expose that? They can expose that with a Juggernaut. So since Juggernaut is very much in their range, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go as wide as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize the Card Shark in the Sanctum. So even if they remove this with a Juggernaut or a Charging Oryx, for instance, we easily pick them off with one of these minions, and we've got a Charging Oryx right behind. So, okay, they've got the Charging Oryx. It hits right here, but again, this peels there, and then this goes, yeah. So, and we've got a second Charging Oryx. So we've got quality 7 drops to keep throwing at their face, and then just keep throwing at their face. We even have the jump on potential. Jump on this alone threatens lethal, which is very difficult for our opponent. utilizing the god power, so this no longer is lethal, but nothing like a second Goblet's Goats that's going to send us to the finals. We love to see it here, and we're going to be in the first finals of tournament season. Had to happen in the starter deck, though, really? Hello, everyone, and welcome to the championship match of Nature Starter Deck. This will be the last match, win or lose, that we have to play with the stupid Nature Starter Deck. So, that's a relief for me. Not sure if it is for you or not, but let's go ahead and get this done with. We're going second, which is not optimized. We have to pick Selena's Mark per the rules of the game. Terrible Mulligan, this and this are just dead cards, so I actually get rid of this first because there's two of them in the deck. I get rid of this because there's two of them in the deck. I get rid of this because it's expensive, and yeah, that Mulligan could not have gone worse. Phone alarm reminding me to wake up now. See, I woke up early today. Chat is proof. So we did end up getting an Axewoman, which is decent. It can trade with this. Their Mulligan might not be as bad as ours. This is kind of a dead card. This is too expensive as well. The Escape Silverback's not going to help us much. We'll go ahead and make the trade here. Just hope they don't have anything that can apply additional pressure, because you see our hand, we can't do anything. And they've got a good card. We draw a bad card. Very bad start for us. Great start for our opponent. This is why the Nature Starter decks are just so bad. Is just you get games like this, and there's just really nothing we can do here. We're just going to get steamrolled. And yeah, I mean, you can't take 2 turns off like this. I mean, we got this next turn, and then what? I mean, we pretty much lose. We play this, and then this guy actually trades off with the God Power. Worst case for them. So we don't even have like a best case scenario where we're really accomplishing anything. They did kind of miss there. Now, hopefully, the Silverback can take out this guy for me. But of course he can't. That's the worst place he could hit, because they do this and then just ding. And yeah, they get control of the Sanctum. This is pretty much a disaster. So they can do this, they can buy this, which fits perfectly on curve, and we have nothing we can do except play this, which is kind of pointless. They got Wild Root, and they got Untamed Regrowth, which means they can play more things. So this comes onto the board, which is pretty annoying. Ah, terrible hand, terrible hand. Have to play the Wild Root Staff, no other choice. It's looking pretty bleak already. I'm not going to sugarcoat the situation. Okay, they got a Wild Root Staff. So I'm going to go ahead, play the Hired Muscle because it is the biggest. It also asks the question with this, which they might not want to run just straight into this, but they probably should. But just because they should doesn't mean they will. So we're definitely looking at probably jumping on here and trying to get some positive RNG to break our way. Some amazing RNGs, really the only out we have in this game. But even with amazing RNG, it's looking pretty bleak. Yeah, they play this. See, there's just not really a clean line for me here. Unless we draw something fantabulous here. See, the awkward thing is I can play like this card to get no value out of. It's so awkward. Like what I want to do is I want to play this and this, attack and this, and then they hit here. We get buffed. We get buffs in a lot of places that way, but we get no card back from Echocaster, which is kind of bad. We're also using our last pip. The other line we have is a jump on here to just try to clear their entire board, but then we're left with absolutely nothing. Though we do got good 7s coming out the following turns, so we have that going for us. The jump on probably kills this, though we're not 100% sure. I hate this line. I hate this line. Okay. And we go ahead and remove their last minion. See, this way we've got 3/7s in hand. We can pip into Oryx or Juggernaut. Just hope they can't just really punish us wide. If they go tall, we've got this. Okay, another one of those, which isn't great for us. Okay, Battle Oryx. I'm going to go ahead with the Charging Oryx. I think the Ranger First Bow is the best card in the Sanctum, so I'm going to go with that. The general idea is with our last attack, we want to play Best Friends at another minion and get that going. Well, if this goes face, they win. That's simple, but it doesn't, since this guy went face. Now, they made a mistake with their ordering. They should have attacked with this guy first, but I don't think it's going to matter. We're just going to lose this game. So yeah, we actually have no outs here. We can play this and attack, but then we die. And jump on doesn't do anything. No front lines here. So there's no way to prevent lethal. So we're back for game number 2. We lost game number 1. Got a terrible draw. Everything that could go bad did. Would really like to get a low-cost minion with those best friends, but yeah, we definitely failed. So next turn, we probably pip out the Barbed Portfolios, depending on what they do. See, if we play this, they just run in. I think this is still the line. The idea is next turn we play this and this. If we play this, they just run in and then ding. Okay, they've got their own. So we're probably just going to get in a standstill of kind of staring at each other right now. So we'll go ahead and go with this line. So we're going to get some value out of the best friends, depending on what they have to do this turn. Unfortunate to have 2/7s. Now, if we can get the early Sanctum, that could be pretty big. This was a good card for them to have. We don't run cards as good as this. Man, they just draw the nuts every game. I guess that's why they're in the championship, but this is not good for us at all. Yeah, I mean, we have to do this. This line is pretty much forced. I'll hit with this first to see if I want to attack with the Badger. Okay, well, I'll aim for here. That's not the worst. The worst place could have gone was there, but it wasn't a useful place. That would have been okay as well. Unfortunately, we're not getting any value out of our Selena's Mark because this just regions up. So they'll hit here, and then I guess they're kind of just making some trades. This probably just trades into here. Okay, that trades into there. Okay, there. If we can get this to hit here, I think everything just kind of just trades off on the board. Or not. Yeah, we're just behind. We're just behind. Man, they just draw perfect. They drew perfect, and there's just literally nothing we can do. Now we draw 1-drops on 5, and we don't have a good 5-drop. I'm sure they'll have good stuff to do at 5 and 6 and stuff like that. And Selena's Mark continues to hit here, which is pointless. They just trade these off. They control the Sanctum. They got the Wild Root Staff, and they're going to go on to win this game. Frustrating to lose in the finals. There's just nothing we could have done in either game. Both games were very, very boring, very, very low skill intensive. They made some inaccuracies, particularly in game number 1, which, I mean, obviously didn't matter because we never had anything to do. There's no reason to play this minion. It just gets peeled immediately by this. I mean, come on. And of course, the Selena's Mark is hit here 3 times in a row. It's just absolutely absurd. They go face, and this game is completely lost. There's nothing we could do, and that's why starter deck sucks. Is because it doesn't matter how bad your opponent plays. There's literally no way they could have possibly lost this either game because they draw perfect and we draw terribly. I mean, we drew both charging orcs in both games. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. All right, so the finals doesn't go our way. But never give up. So I always check my opponent's decks. And this is something I have never seen before in a finals. So it turns out that upon inspecting my decks, remember, you're required to play the starter deck, because this is the starter deck tournament. Go into the scene. I come in here. I go ahead and look up their deck. We get the pause, the drama on the loading screen, and what do I see here? Where are the 8-drops? Where's Aspect of the Oxodal? Our opponent. Look, this deck has never been played before. Oh my, our opponent hasn't played. This is not the starter list. Compare it to the deck that I was playing. Right here. Takes it a little bit to load. But I played the starter deck. Look at this. 7,500 matches in the last month. 21% win percentage. It's not a good deck. I never claimed it was, but it was the required deck for this tournament. So go ahead, and I'm going to put these decks side by side so we can compare and contrast the situation here. Okay, so we can look at this. Those cards are the same. Wait, they're not running Aspect of the Oxodal? If any of you have watched my broadcast throughout this tournament, you've heard me complain about Aspect of the Oxodal and how it's such a stupid card. Our opponent said no. 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 Not my problem. Not my problem at all. He's like, 2 Wild Root Staffs is a little bit too much. I'm only going to run 1. Only going to run 1. And he doesn't like the expensive stuff. He said no to the 8-drops. Nah, don't want any 8-drops. Nuh-uh. No, game doesn't usually last that long. He took out my best friend, Juggernaut. Juggernaut for the memes. This dude got to the finals without any Juggernaut memes. Juggernaut's my favorite card of the deck. He took him out. He took out the heart and soul of the memes of the starter deck dreams. So that's 6 cards he removed from the deck. What 6 cards did he add? Well, he's like, why run 1 Dockside Prowler when you can run 2? Why run 1 Springbloom Hunter when you can run 2? Why run 1 Vanguard Axewoman when you can run 2? Why run 1 Panacean Messenger when you can run 2? Why run 1 Hunt Warden when you can run 2? And why run 1 Underbridge Assailant when you can run 2? So we're wondering how in the final matchup our opponent seems to be curving out pretty good. Well, guess what? It's just basic probability. Their deck is better designed than ours. And we got crushed. But we got crushed by illegal means. So guess what that makes us, chat? It makes us starter deck champions by disqualification. A win by technicality is still a win. That is the inspirational message that you will take from this situation. Now, I know that you might be thinking, well, that's fine and dandy, but is this situation a little bit controversial? Well, it is a little bit controversial. My opponent originally denied cheating in spite of seeing proof. He posted an apology and since left the server, and yeah, he wasn't too happy about not getting any prizes. So what ended up happening was this. The third place matchup was my semifinal opponent versus the person who my final opponent scammed out of the prior round. And my semifinal opponent won the third place match. So he actually ended up finishing second. The person who lost the third place match finished third. The person who lost in the quarterfinals to my finals opponent, they got fourth place. The person who lost in the round of 16 got 8. The round of 32 got 16th. In the round of 64, they thought they missed out on the money bubble, but they actually get right into the top 32. So the guy made it all the way to the finals running a scam and then got caught right at the end. So the lesson here is don't cheat, or don't cheat against somebody who is a international super spy. So that is my words of encouragement. If you cheat, don't be stupid. And if you want to see something that's pretty insane right now, check this out. All-time earners list. FakeMews #2 for the memes. We used to get second place in every single tournament. Now we're technically tied with Lost Kill, but ahead alphabetically. And we've got Fast EXE still ahead of us. But this weekend, everything's going to shake up. Because next week, we have the big $10,000 prize pool finale of the Play to Earn League. And $3,000 for first is going to shake up the standings for sure. Hopefully in a positive way for me. But I used to be known for finishing second in every event. But first. Only 1 second in that listing. So we are starting to be a little bit more clutch when it comes down to finale night. A big win for us right here. And that concludes the video. That was the surprise ending. Is I've never seen anybody get disqualified by running an illegal deck in a championship match. That's something I've never seen before. They ran illegal decks every single round throughout the tournament, and nobody ever caught them until they faced me. And then they ran it again against me. It's funny. It's like, if you know you're cheating the entire way throughout the tournament, you know you're cheating the entire way throughout the tournament, you face in the finals against me, a tournament organizer who has been mega strict about checking every single deck in their toxic tournament. Like, every single deck. I disqualified people that didn't even know that they were cheating. And their opponents didn't know they were cheating. I went ahead and brought the ban hammer. You don't think that I'm going to just do that with my own match. You don't think that I'm just going to ignore it, right? Right? This person did. And yeah, they got it, what they had coming for them. Is it a cheap way to win a tournament? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I did a good deed. Because by catching the cheater, I improved Roger Krog's prize, Ford's prize, his quarterfinal opponent prize, his round of 16 opponent prize, his round of 32 opponent prize, and his round of 64 opponent prize. Even though they didn't do themselves favors by forgetting to look up his deck, I did them all a favor by increasing their prizes to mitigate the mistake of not catching him. So, moral of the story here is if you cheat smarter. And that's going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed the finale night coverage of the starter tournament. It ended up being a lot more spicy than I thought it would be. And it ended up having a different ending than I thought it was. Playing those matches and the finals. Felt like we were getting destroyed. But it ended up working out in the end. Have a great day, y'all. And I hope to be making a Final 4 video for the Play to Earn tournament. We can only dream, right? We can only dream.